wand keeper there. And of course, the wand chooses you. You don't choose the wand. This is where, some real magic is created. And again, one thing to do it for film, to get the right shot, different thing to do it over and over and over again for thousands of visitors on about a 10-minute cycle every single day. When you do it right, and we work hard to make that the case, we really believe we create a memory that lasts a lifetime. We've even got the answer for the young person that says, when they go outside with their newly purchased wand, but I pointed it at the flower pot and I couldn't make the flowers wilt. And our wand keeper said, I happen to overhear this conversation with the oil, so oh boy, we're in trouble now. And the wand keeper said, well, how old are you, young man? He said, well, I'm 7 years old. He said, well, Harry didn't get his powers until he was 9. And the kid said, oh, that makes sense. So, we really, really continue that magic in every respect. We carry it over to the food program. Again, there are no soft drinks sold in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and that's because there's no soft drinks in Harry Potter's world. There is something else, though. There's something called butterbeer. Here's a word, butterbeer, that is mentioned a few dozen times in over 4,100 pages of fiction. And I think if you were to ask any of us on the creative side of theme park attractions, you'd say, well, what senses do you work with when you create a theme park attraction? And right away, well, what you see, what you hear, perhaps what you smell, certainly what you feel, and that's probably where you would stop. You wouldn't think about taste. Well, here's an example of how taste is a sense that comes to bear in a theme park entertainment experience. We have sold, almost 1 million of these butterbeers, and this is going to continue. People consider butterbeer to be an attraction. When we do guest surveys, and we start asking which attractions in Wizarding World did you most enjoy, butterbeer is at the very top of the list. And so in their mind, it's an important ingredient, an important experience of coming to Wizarding World. So our work continues throughout our store. We have queues that build up at our stores. In a way, that's okay. Because I think in a sense it communicates that if people are waiting for it, it must be good. I'm going to wait too. This is my chance. I'm going to go and take full advantage of what these stores have to offer. And they were painstakingly detailed, designed, and then of course delivered right down to every last piece of merchandise that they have within them. And then to the attraction experiences. We have something for everyone. First, for the all family, we have the Flight of the Hippogriff. Of course, to get on the ride, you have to get the Hippogriff's permission, the Hippogriff being Hagrid's pet. And after appropriately, properly bowing to the Hippogriff, the ride proceeds, and you can see in this particular slide both Daniel Radcliffe and one of the Weasley twins enjoying this ride with some of our customers. Here's Hagrid's hut, which you see as soon as you take off. Fort Anglia, the banners that adorn the entrance to the Dragon's Challenge ride, which is part of the Tri-Wizards Cup, such an important part of the Harry Potter fiction. And then into the Forbidden Journey, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride. We, with J.K. Rowling and Warner, put a great effort into making the queue experience every bit as entertaining as the ride experience. And so, where are you? Well, you're in Hogwarts Castle. You're in Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And there is a dungeon, and there are archives, and there is another place called Dumbledore's office. And Dumbledore, of course, as the headmaster, certainly would need to address all of you who come to experience Hogwarts School. And he does just that through a technique called Muse Vision. As I stood next to the chairman of Warner Brothers Pictures, watching Dumbledore present, remembering this is the chairman of Warner Brothers Pictures, he's saying to me, how did you do that? That Dumbledore is so realistic, it's as if he is in the room with us. And well, that's how we did it. We did it with Muse Vision. And I must say, when I watched the taping of it, I got fooled because I was watching the taping when the actual performer was behind me. That's how, on a different stage, that's how realistic it looks. I want to show you another scene that takes place as you work your way through the queue. This is in the Defense of the Dark Arts classroom, where we have now ushered in, and Ron and Harry and Hermione appear to us, again in Muse Vision, from behind the cloak of invisibility, to give us a little orientation into why we are there and their perspective on whether or not we should stay. So this is from the cue.
Excuse me, we reckon we should warn you. If you stay here much longer, you'll find yourself listening to Professor Binns go on about the history of Hogwarts.
Which, it should be pointed out, is rather fascinating. One book I highly recommend, which is an absolutely riveting read, is Bathilda Bagshot's Hogwarts.
Perhaps another time, Hermione. The point is, Professor Binns is very, very boring, which is understandable as he's dead. Yeah.
What one means to say is he's a ghost.
Yeah, well, dead, aren't they? Ghosts. Sort of a requirement. They're muggles, Hermione, not morons.
The same thing with morons. My own parents happen to be muggles, if you recall, Ronald.
Anyway, we thought you might prefer to come with us and see a game of Quidditch.
A game of Quidditch, well, it wouldn't take much encouragement to get me to go to a game of Quidditch instead of listening to Professor Binns' speech, so that's exactly what our guests do as they proceed down to board the ride. And when they get on the ride, they find themselves on a robotic arm that's mounted on a conveyance system that in a linear fashion transports people through the entire ride experience, which is a combination of filmatic presentation that takes place within a concave dome that allows the robotic feature to place you as the guest inside of that dome and really experience the whole storytelling aspect of the Forbidden Journey ride. And then as you exit that, prior to entering another, you're in practical sets where you have encounters such as this with, in this case, the fire-breathing dragon who does just that, breathes fire on you as you move through a scene of destruction that he has created. And I want to show you a clip from the ride experience itself. This is kind of a conglomeration of a few snippets of what you would see when you're actually on the ride in these domes that I referenced.
Sorry about that. Those benches can be a bit dodgy. But we haven't lost anyone yet. Not this week, anyway. Where are you been? Snakes, follow me!
I told you we were going to take you on a Quidditch match. Remember with me that you're on a robotic arm. So that arm allows full compliance from a movement standpoint with what you're seeing in film. So believe me, you're on that broomstick, you're on that journey with Harry and Ron and Hermione. Going back to where I began, I talked about back in 1915 the tens of thousands of people that queued up to get into Carl Laemmle's film studio. Well, wasn't too dissimilar on opening day of Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Note the time stamp, 5:17 in the morning. People had queued up and caused major congestion back through our roadways at Universal Orlando Resort, back onto I-4, and this was the big reason why. So we got those garages open extra early to move people through, and we needed to because there was an enormous crowd. For those of you that know the layout of Islands of Adventure, you see in the upper right-hand scene the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville seaplane, and as you move to the left across the bridge, that's toward the entrance of Islands of Adventure. So there the folks were, our park guests were queued up, moving left to right in that scene, and then as you look to the scene in the slide on the far left, they queued up all across City Walk, made the corner around in front of Universal Studios Florida, which is the lower section there where the globe is, and then back out across the Hard Rock Cafe and the NBA Cafe in a counterclockwise fashion. So really making a full and complete turn all the way around City Walk waiting to get in. And that did not go down. That stayed that way throughout the day. As guests were let in, more guests came. It was a great, glorious day. One that I will never forget. And the number one reason why Harry's my very best friend. This is the grand opening celebration night. We were really privileged to have John Williams come and conduct the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. John Williams is a renowned composer and has done the scores for many, many films and did the work for the Harry Potter film. So he conducted the orchestra playing the tunes from Harry Potter as we projected up on the side of Hogwarts many images kind of in a short form telling the story of the life of Harry Potter. You know, I really want to take a moment to thank so many people that have contributed so much to the success that we've had. And it begins with Mark Woodbury, and as the president of Universal Creative and the entire Universal Creative team did an absolutely superb job in conceptualizing and partnering with Warner Brothers and J.K. Rowling to bring this spectacular, immersive entertainment experience, I believe the best ever done, to our park and therefore to the world to see. And it goes beyond us because, as I mentioned time and again, you know, Warner Brothers, Bob Whitecamp, who was a huge, huge partner and continues to be with us on behalf of Warner Brothers, partnering with them, and of course, J.K. Rowling, to the many vendors and suppliers, most of you who are present with us this morning. You know, thank you so much for your support, and in particular to IAAPA for inviting me to participate. I'm really pleased that you're all going to go see Wizarding World of Harry Potter tomorrow evening. I know that you're absolutely going to enjoy it. I was talking to you earlier about the many keepsakes, mementos that people purchase. One of the most popular is chocolate frogs. I have a chocolate frog for all of you. When you exit today, you'll all be handed one by one of our team members. Make sure you look at the bottom of the box, because that's where one of the 4 collectible cards that each represent the 4 schools of the Hogwarts Academy are located. So I'm sure you'll prize this possession forever, but if you don't, your grandkids will. So again, thank you very much. It's been my privilege and honor to spend some time with you.